morning, evening, afternoon, or night. I am Gregory, accompanied with the tiger himself,
That's
Lewis.
that's right. I am Lewis, and today we're going to talk about a philosopher and some philosophical ideas that are incredibly relevant to the modern day. And they come from Friedrich Nietzsche, and those ideas are that of the last man and the Übermensch. And those ideas, his philosophies have been taken and warped and twisted in absolutely absurd ways. But at the basis, there's a lot of extremely useful archetypes in there. And I'm going to send it over to our resident Nietzschean expert, Greg. Could you tell us a little bit more about the last man, the Ubermensch, and why they matter?
Nietzsche uses the dialectic that is prevalent in the 19th century Europe, and he conjured from his daily walks of the last man, the Übermensch. He says in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, quote, Behold, I show you the ultimate man. What is love? What is creation? What is longing? What is a star? Thus asks the ultimate man and blinks. In this translation, ultimate man is the last man. The earth has become small, and upon it hops the ultimate man, who makes everything small. His race is the inextricable as a flea. The ultimate man lives longest. We have discovered happiness, says the ultimate man, and blinks. That would be a prevalent theme with the last man, blinking. Blinking at creation, blinking at love, and blinking at star, because they've created their form of happiness. And the contra force or willpower to Nietzsche's last man is the Übermensch, which can both be translated as the Superman or the Overman. He discusses how the Übermensch is this higher species of society because it's not an individual, but a value for a collected society to be beloved and to value in their plights and ambitions of themselves, stretching further and expanding their downgoing, for it shall be their overgoing. Or Nietzsche would say again later, one must have chaos inside oneself to give birth to a dancing star. Because this Ubermensch is the dark cloud and the thunderous clap of lightning. And that thunderous clap of lightning is the will to power. And what is that dark cloud? That dark cloud is the controversial, sensible, and amoral thoughts, impulses, instincts, and the unconsciousness developing what he would say later in Beyond Good and Evil, the freedom of will. Now
So,
today, yeah,
basically, these are both archetypes. There is no one person, one individual that is the last man or the Ubermensch. They are a collection of ideas that people can kind of, I guess, be a part of. They can represent aspects of this last creature hopping around, or the this being of incredible power and creativity. So I'd like to go into the last man a bit more now. How do you think the idea of the last man relates to the modern world? Because it seems quite easy for your average person today to say, "All right, as long as I have, my entertainment, my food, place to rent, possibly a relationship," though those seem to be going the way of the dodo in modern society. But they have basically all of these amazing streaming services and games and social media things. So why bother doing anything? Is this the
it's
last man or woman?
it's or a woman too. People neglect to think of the woman part, but the woman's involved. I'd say it's the brief intoxication, that brief consumption of poison to fill their thrill, or having a trademark mug saying life is good wrapped in a woolly blanket near a fire to feel comfort. And an overdosage of poison will kill, and
Hmm.
and they'll keel over from the overconsumption of poison. And that correlates to what you said: streaming services, video games, simple pleasures, dopamine,
Hmm.
oxytocin, etc., etc. And from hopping upon the earth, Nietzsche is describing how modern man is using modern ideas to have something known. And now we translate it to the psychological part of a thought. What produces a thought? The physiological and external reality to the psychological. While simultaneously, when someone when a thought is unknown or uncertain or unfamiliar with them, they move through their psyche to the known, to the familiar, to the certain, to have that form of comfort.
Mm. So today, I mean, it seems as though society is pushing people into this last man ideal or archetype in that for many people there is not an overarching sense of purpose. It's basically, oh, what will be released next, and what can we be outraged over or whatnot. So the thing is, like, I mean, in small amounts, this isn't going to be necessarily harmful, but if it envelops your life, then it could turn you into the last man, if I'm understanding correctly.
Hmm. And Nietzsche describes this last man as he is a fool who stumbles over stones or over men. A little poison now and then that produces pleasant dreams, and a lot of poison at last for a pleasant death. They will they still work, for work is entertainment, but they take care the entertainment does not exhaust them. Nobody grows rich or poor anymore. Both are too much of a burden. Who still wants to rule, who obey, both are too much of a burden. No herdsmen and one herd. Which the last man is conscious of
Mm.
a previously mad and insane society. And now they're reversing through the revaluation of values for a sane, moral, unforgettable utility that has become habitual and an error of errors.
Mm. So if somebody is, I suppose, in this day and age, being tempted by this last man, uh, I guess, this comfort, how would you recommend they fight against that? How does Nietzsche recommend you fight against it?
A pathos of distance. Pathos pathos is the Greek word for emotion. So it's an emotional separation from society. And the second recommendation Nietzsche would say is the love for solitude, or the art that is produced from the finer intuition of solitude. He describes solitude as this sublime inclination to cleanliness to combat the uncleanly society that has progressively based men to a equal, if not uniform level, which he saw as a secret path to nihilism. Now, he doesn't point the finger at one ideology. He describes of how through genealogically and historically, there were downgoing and overgoing parts of the will, a strong will and a weak will, as he describes, because free will and non-free will is mythological to him. So they capitalize on one another at their weak and strong points.
Hmm. And final question here. Let's say you have someone who has fallen into the last man trap. What are a few things they could do to start raising themselves above that quagmire of comfort?
Not to attach to another person, including ones they beloved, because they become a prisoner of their prison. Not to attach to the fatherland or a nation, including if the fatherland or nation is healthy or unhealthy, but triumphant with this over prideful vainglory. Another one is not to attach to the feeling of pity. Another one is not to attach to one's own disattachment, which is the eagle who flies higher and higher while leaving the physical world for something of a real world or a metaphysical one. Another one is not attaching to one's own virtues of how they were taught hospitality, pity, sympathy, compassion. That is the hazard of hazards, and a liberalization from the self-claimed actors and noble souls of society who's in a flux of different valuations every day. And the last one is to affirm oneself innocently, lovingly, including having a higher form of consciousness, a conscience innocence. That is his grand emancipation.
Hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much, Greg, for giving us an overview of these ideas. Hopefully, those listening can get something out of it. And next time, we will go more in depth into the Ubermensch. So I can't wait.
Or I, the opposite which attracts one another.
Ah, yes. Amor fati, friend.
Amor fati.